Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to July the 9th, 2024 daily rundown video for the ASX. We have just under 1 hour left of trading today. Now, the agenda for today's video is fairly similar than other videos. I'll go through the ASX today, and just by glancing at Market Index website here, we've had a pretty good day. Everything is in the green. Maybe not everything as we delve deeper into the winners and losers today, including sectors, indices, and also companies. So I'll do that first. And then we'll have a look at the top 5 announcements of the day. And we're starting to see a few more Appendix 4Cs and 5Bs being released. I'll look at some of those that have been released in the past 24 hours. And then we'll go through the other top 5 stocks of the day. And then we'll have a look at some charts. I do have a few charts lined up, including looking at Clinuvel again. And looking at Clinuvel's chart, you'll be able to see how important sentiment is when it comes to the movement of a share price of a company. And Clinuvel's, I suppose, what's happening with Clinuvel right now is a perfect example of how sentiment drives the share price. I'd say, in fact, sentiment is the most important thing. And sentiment can shift quite quickly, as you'll see when we look and talk about Clinuvel. Okay, so that should be at the end of the video. Let's get into the ASX today. A pretty good day on the market. Everything's in the green. So let's have a look to see if all indices and sectors have had a good day. And looking at the sectors, really good day for telecommunications, up 1.63%. I'm assuming that has been led by Telstra. Telstra did release an announcement today, which did not make it into my top 5 announcements or stocks, but that could be a mistake because just by looking at the sector's performance, Telstra has had a pretty good day. Financials, real estate, IT, discretionary, industrials, healthcare materials, all up by more than 0.5%. So every single sector is up today. And that equals a pretty good day for the market. However, if you are concentrated into one or two companies and those companies have had a bad day, you've had a bad day. So I shouldn't say everyone has had a good day because there's probably some investors out there who have not had a good day, particularly maybe investors who have or are heavily invested in gold, because I noticed All Ordinary Gold is actually down. Possibly the only indice down today is gold. Let's have a look at the rest of the indices. And no, in fact, emerging companies is also down. So emerging companies, if I remember correctly, is by market cap between 300 and 600 or something like that, which is not quite small ordinaries or small caps. 200 companies that ranked between 350 and 600 by float adjusted market cap. But probably don't have a list of companies here, but not quite small caps. So there's a little bit of difference between emerging companies and small caps. And unfortunately, emerging companies had not a good day. So if you're heavily invested in those type of companies, maybe your portfolio is not quite performing as well as the rest of the market. Now, the ASX 20, a really good day, up almost 1%. I'm assuming that has been maybe not largely driven, but has been driven by banks and Telstra. So let's have a look at the best performing companies in the ASX 20. I'm going to say 17 up, 3 down. 17 up, 3 down. Okay. And I'd say Telstra's probably up near the top. And also, it's fair to say the banks are near the top. Worst performing companies, I'm going to say either Woodside or Santos. Two other companies, Woodside, Santos. It's hard because there's no emerging companies and gold. There's no big gold companies. I don't know what the other two companies could be. So Santos or Woodside, maybe Santos and Woodside, although energy hasn't had that bad of a day. So maybe one of those companies. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so Macquarie Group, it's a bank. So Woodside, Fortescue. Okay, so Woodside, yeah, but just guessing the third company, would never have guessed Macquarie Group just because banks had a pretty good day. And best performing companies, Telstra Group. There we go. By far the best, well, no, maybe not by far, but definitely the best performing company within the ASX 20 is Telstra Group. Did not make it in my top 5 stocks of the day. That could be a mistake. But I will talk about Telstra and why the share price has had a nice little rally today. And other companies within the top 5 of the ASX 20 include Aristocrat, REA Group, Commonwealth Bank, Santos, and Westpac. So I was right in saying that if one of the energy companies was down, maybe the other one was up, because Santos is up, Woodside is down. Okay, so let's get to the best and worst performing companies on the ASX today, starting with the worst performing. And a company called Kili Resources, up 81.4% on pretty good turnover. So more than likely, this company released an announcement. So let's have a look at this company. And what I'll do is I'll go here, KLI, Kili, is that how you pronounce it? Kili, I'd say it's Kili, up 76.7% according to Commsec. Of course, there's a 20-minute delay between market index, trading view, and the real trading of the company. Commsec is up to date. And let's have a look at the announcements for this company. Confirmed high-grade gold copper at KAA. Probably should have opened this up in market index, but so what is this? So gold copper company, a KAA target or car target exposed at surface, multiple high-grade gold copper rock chips, including an outstanding 238 grams per ton of gold and 5.4% copper. And that word outstanding is probably justified for that grade of gold, but it's rock chips, so we don't have a depth. So that's probably my big first question is, it's just rock chips. It's just rock chips. Yeah, what else? Carp target within the 100% owned Mount Rowden West project. Is this in West Australia? Do they have a location? Oh, it's actually near Bundaberg. So it's in Queensland. There you go. I'm assuming this is Bundaberg, Queensland. I could be mistaken. It could be somewhere else. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. They have a map here. Thank you. Thank you, Kili Resources. So they're Gold Copper Explorer. And yeah, that Mount Rawdon is near Bundaberg, Queensland. They also have some other projects in Queensland and also in WA. Now, into this sort of result, or this sort of, I wouldn't say drilling result because it's rock chips or chips of rock. I probably typically myself would not get excited about these type of announcements, but the market is excited. So let's have a look at the chart for the company. KLI, a company I've never heard of, but I have put this into my high volume spec, by the way. And I did this just before I started recording this video because I did notice share price had gone on a run, but I had no idea why. But I'm thankful I did that because the chart looks really intriguing right now. The reason it looks really intriguing is I'm starting these sort of announcements, particularly from mining companies, exploring mining companies. And I'm trying to figure out which announcements and companies would go on a run. It could be the start of a really important run, or which announcements that do nothing. And what I'm finding is that the trend and sentiment is really important to determine which companies will start to go on a share price run and which companies will not. And we need to see at least some positive sentiment and a trend in the share price turning positive. For instance, I'll show you one company, DY6 Metals. Before the company released an announcement on the 27th of May, share price was in a downtrend, well-defined downtrend. Share price on this day rallied 334%. But there was still a fair bit of resistance, even though there was high volume, and we saw some selling coming in on that day. And then the share price has fallen significantly since that particular day. And the main reason behind that is you can see the share price in a well-defined downtrend before they released the announcement. Now, if you could look at another company whose share price has gone on a run after that sort of announcement, what's a good case here? WTM, Waratah Minerals. Look at the difference between this chart and the chart for DY6. When this company released their announcement on the 3rd of July, it was on a one-year high. Went to a one-year high, no resistance. Share price was in a bit of an uptrend, at least going sideways before they released this announcement. So I think the underlying trend and sentiment behind a company before they release an announcement is really important. Really important. And that's what I'm finding going through all these particular charts after a company like Kili Resources release an announcement. So this could be the start of a nice little trend, a shifting trend for Kili Resources. So that's one of the reasons I put this into this particular watch list. I had a few other examples, a few other charts that I deleted today, early this morning, because it's obvious that the company share price is not going on a run after the company share price increased 20, 30, 40% in one day, because there was negative sentiment behind the company, a negative trend, that sort of thing, already in place. And that particular announcement wasn't enough to change sentiment. And I think this is one of the type of announcements that, yeah, I could definitely see Kiwi Resources move into an uptrend after this particular announcement. Also could envisage the share price falling down after this. So how the share price or the market reacts over the next few days is highly important to whether this is a breakout for Kiwi Resources. And that's the whole reason I go through this process. I'm looking for breakouts, and this is a potential breakout. Okay, I've talked enough about Kiwi Resources. Other than that, most of the other companies on this list are on low turnover, including White Energy, up 39% on $129 worth of trading today. No point talking about that company. Otherwise, we have Quickstep again. I talked about that company yesterday. I'll have a look at the chart for Quickstep later in the video, so I'll just mark that. I'll have a look at the chart for Clinuvel as well. So Clinuvel, Quickstep, possible shift in sentiment and trend for Quickstep, just possible at this stage. And otherwise, nothing. Oh, there's DXN. We'll have a look at DXN. This is a company I am trading. And again, you'll be able to see how important sentiment and the trend is in a company. So DXN's finally starting to move higher, significantly higher. Not higher, but significantly higher. Okay, so let's have a look by market cap. So we have Liontown Resources, Insignia, Drone Shield, Judo Capital, Vulcan, Genusplus. Genusplus is up 5.91%. And that has made it into my top 5 announcements of the day. In fact, it's come in at number 1. And I am a trader of Genusplus right now, just like Electro-Optic Systems. FBR has had another good day. Acton and Gen has had another good day. I should have a look at the chart for Acton and Gen. It just keeps on going higher, which tells me the announcement that company released a few weeks ago was really good. And the market likes it because the share price of that company keeps on rallying. Market cap of that company is up to 200 million. Integrated Research and Visan, 2 companies I own. I'm trading Integrated Research and Visan. Technically, I am trading Visan as well because it's small cap, and I'm trading small caps, not holding them for the long term. So it looks like, based off the best performing companies here, I own quite a few companies here. Genusplus, Electro-Optics, Drone Shield, should not mention that. Integrated Research and Visan. So my portfolio probably has done a fairly. I'm going to have a look at Liontown as well. So my portfolio is probably up pretty good today. Okay, so let's have a look at the worst performing companies on the ASX. Red Hill Minerals. Oh, they would have went. I'm assuming that company was doing a capital return to their shareholders, and I'm assuming that's what's happened today. Share price went on a rally because of this. I would do the complete opposite. And they've probably gone ex-dividend. Yep, 9th of July, $1.5, $1.50 return. And that's why the share price is down $1.65. It's just dividend. So no reason to even discuss that company. AL3 or AML3D, another bad day. We'll have a look at that chart because there was a massive sell-off in that company yesterday. And sentiment in that company has shifted from positive to negative quite quickly. Otherwise, Waratah Minerals, which I think I did. Did I mention Waratah Minerals already yet? Down 13.4%. I was waiting for a little bit of pullback in that company's share price, and that's happened. Finally. Mosaic Brands says it's an ETF, but it's not an ETF. What's happening with Mosaic Brands? Maybe it's doing a capital. What do you call it? A consolidation. Convertible note capitalization, trading update. Well, there's no point looking at this company. They've released a very negative trading update, and the share price is a well-defined downtrend. But I just don't like via market index. You see, it says an ETF, but Mosaic Brands, MOZG, is not an ETF. Okay, so let's have a look by market cap. Possibly some interesting companies here. WA1 Resources down heavily. Clinuvel down heavily again after yesterday. Core Lithium down heavily again, after a good day yesterday. In fact, I missed Core Lithium's production update, and because I missed it, I have put that company into my top 5 announcements for today, coming in number 2. And otherwise, nothing of note here among other companies. AccuSensus down. I'm always happy to see that share price of that company down. Nova Eye down after an okay day yesterday. And let's have a look by that is by market cap. Okay. And maybe I should have a look at WA1 Resources as well. That share price of that company is highly volatile. Okay, so let's have a look at the top 5 announcements of the day. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to update the events. So not a lot of events today, only 67 up until Quickstep has just gone into a pause in trading. Now, this could be, I'm going to say this is more than likely going to be an ASX price and volume query. We don't know yet because these pause in trading happens in ordinary trading. So the company gets this. You just see this announcement and there's no information to it. So we're going to see the Trading Halt announcement hopefully within the next 30 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through fairly quickly, a few of the Appendix 4Cs and 5As that have been released within the last 24 hours. So the way you go through that via Commsec is you just filter quarterly cash flow reports. In fact, what I'm going to do is also filter quarterly activities report and also commitments test entity quarterly reports, which is Appendix 4Cs. So there we go. I'm going to go back to yesterday because there was a company, I mentioned Victoria Metals, which was the first Appendix 5A or 4C released for the quarter. Now, if you go back last week, you might see a few here. So on Tuesday was one release, but that was Polymetals Resources. And I completely missed this one. And yep, I completely missed this one. So in fact, Polymetals was the very first Appendix 5A for the quarter. So I expected when I went back 1 week that there would be nothing here. Sorry, Polymetals Resources, I completely missed yours. So let's have a look at this company first of all. So provides its 31st of June 2024 quarterly update as a company advances its strategy to recommence production at the Endeavour Silver, Zinc and Lead mine. Now, straight away, that sort of wording has me interested in this company, that they're recommencing production. So they're very close to becoming a producing company. However, I've never heard of this company before. Strategic $5 million investment by Metals acquisition. This is a recently listed company on the ASX. Successful $6.2 million equity raise. I am going to put Polymetals onto my watch list just because, based off this particular announcement, they are moving back into production. I'm always like that sort of thing. So let's have a look at the chart for Polymetals. And yeah, the chart's all over the place. So nothing really happening with Polymetals, but I think this deserves a watch list. And where shall I put it? I'm going to put it into mining, just mining. That's it. Okay, so that did not go to plan. I expected all these to be zero events. So let's go to the new week. And yesterday, I've already talked about Victory Metals. And then at 6:46 p.m., the very first Appendix 4C was released from a company called Protean Energy, ticker code POW. I don't really want to give this company much exposure because it's a shell right now. The reason I say it's a shell is you can determine that just by the wording here, the commentary, when they say, the company is continuing to review and consider project and business acquisition opportunities, which may not be in the mining sector, whilst reducing operational spend. So this company is not real right now. They have nothing. They're looking for an opportunity. So more than likely, this will be a shell, an opportunity for a backdoor listing. So the next or the backdoor listing could be anything from a mining exploring company. It could be a tech company, a SaaS company. It could be an AI company. We just don't know. Power was the very first, or Protean Energy was the first Appendix 4C for the season. And if you just have a look at their cash flow from operating activities, they're not burning much cash. So most of this is just the remaining staff, maybe 1 or 2 directors, that sort of thing. In fact, do they mention that? Yeah, actually, in fact, they do. $57,000 comprising director fees and non-directing services, accounting services, $12,000, company secretarial services, $12,000, and service office, $5,000, directors fees, $28,000, and administration corporate costs, $73,000. So at this point in time, no point really talking about this company right now because they're not real. They're just a shell. So that was yesterday at 6:46 p.m. But technically, that was the first company to release Appendix 4C. until today. So, in fact, we do have the very first Appendix 4C, real 4C, for a real company, and that company is called Nyrada. Let's open up Nyrada, and this company has come in number 5 on my top stocks of the day. So let's wait until I talk about some of the other 5Bs or 4Cs that were released today. But there were 2 5Bs. There was a qualitative report from New Zealand Coastal Seafoods Limited. I am not going to discuss that company at all. I'm not sure what's happening with that company. There's no trading for that company right now. And how I know that is just by going to their Commsec page, and there's no buyers or sellers. Nothing's happening with this company. They released an Appendix 4C, 2 4Cs on the 28th of June. That was the March quarter and the January quarter or the December quarter. So they're a little bit behind, and they're in liquidation. According to this, they're in liquidation. That's probably why. That's why, that's probably why we're not seeing, I'm not sure why we're even seeing Appendix 4Cs or activities report. And that's one of the reasons why I won't discuss that company anymore. So let's have a look at the other 2 companies, Aurumin and Woomera Mining. And more than likely, these are just exploring companies, but they have released Appendix 5B. So I'll just lightly touch upon these 2 reports. I haven't looked at these companies just yet. So Aurumin Mining, and we know this company is an exploring company, not a producing company, because the first page, there's no production numbers. So that's an almost dead giveaway. They're just talking about some of their drill results, which is fine enough. Talking about an acquisition. But the most important things about these type of companies that have no cash flow or no receipts, is you want to know how much cash the company has. So operations are in WA. So how much cash do they have, and what's their cash burn like? And unfortunately, what I'll do is I open up this, so I can just go down all the way here. Receipts of customers, 26,000. You might say, well, they do have receipts. What's happening here? That's not real receipts. Not sure where they're getting that receipts from. Burn through $847,000 in operations. And how much cash do they have on hand? They're now down below $1 million. So they are burning through cash, and more than likely in Section 8, they will have to explain where they're going to get some cash from. It's 0.85. Does the entity expect they will continue to have the current level of net operating cash flows for the time being? And if not, why not? No, the company plans to manage its cash flow in line with its working capital position. No, other than they just have to say, are they going to raise any money or something like that? Or they're selling something. Look, according to this, they're selling something regarding the sale of Mount Dimer iron ore rights. So how do they get this 24,000? They probably don't mention it anywhere. Aurumin to receive 250,000 in shares or cash at Cooler's option upon completion for Cooler to acquire 51% in the blah blah blah. So where's this 24,000 coming from? Who knows? It's not in operations because they're not in operations. That's what I'm thinking right now. So Aurumin, ticker for that company is AUN. Let's have a look at the chart for this company. Quick look at the chart. And funny enough, we had a crossover back in April, but it's crossed back again. Looks like today. This will be popping up on my my screener. When I say screener, I'm talking about this. Where is it? 1 day screener. And there it is. It's popping up. 7 matches today, and this is one of the matches. Bit of a crossover. Another crossover is Boss Energy. Oh, negative crossover for Boss Energy. There it is. It's a negative crossover. Anyhow, so that's Aurumin, whatever it's called, mining. What's it? Oh, I completely missed the other company. Woomera Mining. Another company I know nothing about. And of course, when you know nothing about a company, you just have a look at their Appendix 5B activity report, and you can find a lot about a company. So this company looks like they're Lithium Explorer, copper, gold, Lithium Explorer, based off the first highlight point, talking about copper gold anomaly, and talking about 2 lithium anomalies. And let's go straight to the cash flow section. So this company is burning through cash. It's an exploring company. So exploring companies, by definition, have no receipts. They have no revenue. They're exploring. Burning through about $1 million a quarter. So that's $4 million a year. And they have $611,000 of cash at the end of this quarter. So this company has to do a capital raising. So in Section 8, they will have to answer the questions from the ASX. So let's have a look. And because estimated quarters of funding is less than 2, 0.67, they have to answer 8.8. So Section 8.81, does the entity expect that it will continue to have the current level of net operating cash flows for the time being? And if not, why not? So Aurumin said no. This company says yes. Given the company is an exploration company and not generating any revenue, well, I just said that's the definition of an exploring company. It is expected it to continue to have negative operating cash flows for the time being. So the ASX wants to know, how are you going to address the lack of cash if you don't have enough cash to do exploring? That's Section 8.82. The company may contemplate a fundraising in the future based upon ongoing satisfactory exploration results. The company has been able to demonstrate a record of securing funds when required. So they're going to have to get a move on when it comes to that right now. So let's have a look at the chart for this company, WML. And by their wording, the share price should not be in much of a downtrend. And in fact, that's it. Now that's a daily chart. Not the best looking chart for Woomera mining. Sorry to say that, Woomera mining. You're at 0.3 cents. And I'd say how much shares you have on issue? 1.2 billion. So if they raise a few million, the shares on issue are going to increase significantly because of where the share price is right now. They have to do or give a bit of a discount. So they probably have to raise at 0.2 cents, which means just 5 shares for 1 cent. So 50 for 10 cents, 500 for, did I get that right? 500 for $1. So $5 for each $1. So if they want to raise $1 million, they have to increase shares on issue by 5 million. That doesn't sound right at all, does it? That sounds wrong. Maybe it's 50 million. Anyway, no interest in Woomera mining. And then we get to the number 5 stock of the day, and that is Nyrada. So Nyrada did release, apart from Protean, the first Appendix 4C for the June quarter. Now, I don't know this company much well. They are a pharmaceutical company. I'm trying to remember what they do without looking. Is it something to do with cholesterol? Okay. So, no, this is just like a mining exploring company, a pharmaceutical company that has no revenue or receipts. And the whole reason we have equity markets is for these type of companies to get better access to capital. So Nyrada remains on track in the commencement of its first in-human phase 1 clinical trial for brain injury. Okay, so brain injury. So they're fairly early on in the process. Talking about doing stuff in brain injury and stroke. So my thinking in regards to cholesterol, way off the mark. But that's okay. I don't know anything about this company. I just thought Nyrada and cholesterol. Okay. Now, if you want to have a look at the About section, they just talk about that. And then we'll have a look at the Appendix 4C. And again, no receipts, burning through cash. $1 million per quarter just in operations. And that's it. They did a capital raising, but maybe that's options, $210,000. And how much cash do they have on hand? This is very important. So $4.8 million of cash on hand at the end of the quarter, which means based off the cash burn in this particular quarter, they have 4 to 5 quarters of history. So if you go to Section 8, no debt, that's a more important thing. You have 4.7 quarters of funding left, so they don't have to answer the rest of Section 8, 8.61, and etc., because it's greater than 2. So that's Nyrada. Last thing is the chart. Now, typically for these type of companies, I don't really care about the Appendix 4C or 5B, the activities report, because a lot of the activities they do mention, they've already stated in previous announcements. These sort of announcements are really important, or more important, for companies that are real, that are selling something. So we can see the cash receipts coming in the door, cash receipts increasing through time, that sort of thing. So for Nyrada, the Appendix 4C is not as important as other announcements. They're results of their trials, that sort of thing. And the share price is down 15%. So obviously the market, for some reason, doesn't like this announcement. It could be just noise, but the chart doesn't look good anyway. So for some reason, and see, on the 28th of February, the share price rallied 421%. What happened on that date? 28th of February. Significant neuroprotection in Nyrada's preclinical brain injury. The market liked it. So there was a nice rally, a really good rally on that day. Was that a breakout? It was close. There was a fight between the bears and the bulls for a while, but again, the share price of this company has been in long-term downtrend. So there would be a lot of shareholders wanting to get out, and that was putting a strain on the share price, moving up into a well-defined uptrend. And then finally, the bulls gave in and the bears won, and the share price has been drifting lower ever since then and has moved back into a downtrend. So you just see how important sentiment is, and even a one-day shot in sentiment, possible turnaround in sentiment based off what seemingly is a good announcement, still may not be enough for companies that are in long-term downtrends. And that was true for Nyrada. Even though when they released that announcement, it was almost, not quite a one-year high, it was about a 9-month high. So that was not strong enough announcement to turn around sentiment. Okay, so coming in at 5, we have Nyrada. Coming in at number 4, we have Orthocell. I can't read my writing there. Orthocell, just making sure everything else is normal. Yep. So Orthocell, up 5.71%. Record quarterly and yearly revenue show outstanding growth. I actually saw this title of this announcement, and not even being a shareholder, I got excited because the wording sounds absolutely great. Impressive growth with record quarterly and yearly revenue achieved. And then I went through the highlights section, and my enthusiasm did drop off a little bit here. So record revenue of 1.84 million, which is not much, and that was up 14.4% from 1.6 million in the third quarter. So the growth in revenue is not that substantial, and it's on a low base. So my excitement sort of died away fairly quickly, and up 9% from 1.6 million the same period last year. So it's gone from 1.68 million the fourth quarter last year to 1.84 million. So not much of an increase year on year. The continued growth will see record financial year 24. They've actually underlined that. Revenue of 6.72 million, up 30.4%. Now, they've actually mentioned the global market opportunity is in excess of 3 billion, and the company has $20.6 million of cash. So more than likely, the company is burning through a fair bit of cash. They don't mention that at all. It's just about revenue growth. Do they mention anything about cash and that sort of thing? Nothing. But the market likes it a little bit. So let's have a look at the chart. Is this a breakout? Not my favorite sort of catalyst for a breakout. I prefer a more robust sort of financial announcement, like we are now profitable, we are now cash flow positive, that sort of thing. And as we look at Orthocell's chart, I am not excited at all about this particular chart. In fact, the share price is going sideways. This is going back. Yeah, there's nothing happening with Orthocell's share price and chart right here. So this does not get me excited at all. But the market likes it. Share price up a little bit today, but more than likely the share price probably will be down over the next few days, and it's in a downtrend right now, a short-term downtrend. So that's coming in number 4. We have Orthocell. The company I don't know anything about, Curvebeam, up 13.75%. Sales update for the fourth quarter. I do like these sort of announcements. I don't know anything about this company. So first thing we're going to do is go to the About section, and then I will have a look at some of their numbers. So what does this company do? Develops, manufactures, and sells specialized medical imaging scanners coupled with AI SaaS-based clinical assessment solutions to support medical practitioners in the management of musculoskeletal conditions. The company's flagship CT scanner, HiRise, performs weight-bearing CT scans as well as traditional non-weight-bearing CT scans. Okay, so a scanning company to do with musculoskeletal conditions. Global operations headquarters in Hatfield, Pennsylvania. So my family comes from Pennsylvania. I have no idea where Hatfield is. I'm assuming near Philadelphia. Yep, there we go. Oh, it's near King of Prussia. There we go. It's in Philadelphia. There you go. So my family comes from. Got to zoom out a little bit more. There it is. There it is, State College. This is where my family comes from. Well, my dad comes from there. Little town called Milroy in Pennsylvania. The capital of Pennsylvania is Harrisburg. It's not Philadelphia. It's not Pittsburgh. It's Harrisburg. And the University of, not the University of Pennsylvania, Penn State University is just up the road from my hometown, my dad's hometown of Milroy, a very small company, or country, not a company. What's the population? 1,386, a very small town. Lots of Amish in this area. Lots of Amish in that area. In fact, some of my parents' friends, their neighbours are Amish. Anyway, that's a geographical lesson in regards to Pennsylvania. So let's go to the crux of this particular announcement from Curvebeam. I have a feeling this is a newly listed company on the ASX, and they are pleased to announce or report 10 purchase orders were received during the quarter. My first question when it comes to these orders is how much one of these machines cost. Is it $5, 500, 5,000, 5 million, 500 million? More than likely it would be 500 million. 7 high-rise purchase orders, 4 of which were in the US, and 3 purchase orders for other devices. So this company is selling stuff, and the selling stuff is improving. They've got this nice little graph here. Device purchases by orders by region. Nice increase from 3 up to 10 during this year. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is have a look at this company's most recent Appendix 4C, which has not been released for the June quarter. So we have to go back to the 30th of April. How much cash flow does this company have? Or receipts, probably the better word. I don't think this company is cash flow positive because it does not come up on my radar just yet. Okay, so $2.2 million of receipts, but they do burn through a fair bit of cash. They have a fair bit of staff costs, $3.2 million per quarter. So operating cash flow negative $4.5 million. So straight away, when I would have seen this in April, I would have went, okay, move on to the next company. They're well away from being operating cash flow and free cash flow positive. In fact, for the year to date, they burned through $17 million in cash just in operations. However, I'd like to know how much they can sell these equipment for, and possibly if they can sell for a lot of money, and if they get other money, if they derive other money from selling this equipment, which probably makes sense because they do talk about, in the announcement today, they talk about AI SaaS-based clinical assessment. So maybe each time someone who buys this equipment uses the equipment, they get a little piece of the pie, small piece of the pie. I'm not sure how the business model works yet for this company, but they did sell 6 devices during this quarter, 3 high-rise, 2 lineup, and 1 PEDCAT, and only received $2 million in receipts. So let's have a look at the chart for this company, and we'll be able to tell when this company listed just by the chart. And I'd say the share price is at a downtrend. Yep. So this company listed back in August 2023, so less than 1 year ago. And unfortunately, the first year this company's been on the ASX has not been good. Share price in a downtrend. And even though share price has rallied today, up 12%, not quite an uptrend just yet. Has gone above the highs we saw back in early June, but that was 1 month ago. So I would have this company on my IPO watch list. And those are companies I have not looked at yet. And this is probably the first time I've had a look at this company, to be honest with you. That's Curvebeam coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have Core Lithium. And I was going to talk about Telstra, wasn't I? I completely forgot. So let's talk about Telstra right now. Share price up 2.5%. They announced mobile pricing updates. So if you are a Telstra not subscriber, if you own their phones, you're going to be paying way more, between $2 and $4 per month more, which sort of makes sense. They're going to do this every so often. But the market likes this. And to be honest with you, it's not sort of announcement that you'd hate. In fact, if you're a Telstra shareholder, you'd love this sort of announcement. They'll be getting more receipts and revenue from this announcement. However, when you look at the chart for Telstra, it's in a downtrend. Short-term uptrend by sure, for sure. In fact, if you have a look at the 1 hourly chart, the 1 hourly chart looks pretty good. So it's all about different time frames here. 1 hourly chart had a bit of a crossover. When was this? The 24th of June. And you could have bought this company about 364. So not much higher. Not much lower than it is now, but the 1 hourly chart looks okay. Daily chart still in a downtrend, but short-term uptrend. Why do you do that, Commsec? Why do you do that, TradingView? So nice little rally, but we've seen these rallies in the past. We saw this between December and February, where the share price of Telstra went a nice little rally, and that rally faded out pretty quickly. The other thing to note is during this rally, the volume has been decreasing, which actually is a negative sign. You want the volume to be increasing. So there's less and less enthusiasm moving forward. And I'd say the share price over the next few weeks has more potential to go down than up from here, just based off the volume. Okay, so that's Telstra. Now, Core Lithium, I completely missed this announcement from Core Lithium yesterday, and they released their production financial update at 9:07 a.m. The market actually really liked it. Share price was up 10%, but you can just see that short-term sentiment died fairly quickly. Share price now down 7%, and it's not a surprise. So let's have a quick look at this particular production financial position update. There was a few things to like about this. So I actually went through this about 6 or 7 p.m. when I realized I completely missed it. So revised financial year 24 guidance exceeded, so that's the most important thing. So they produced more than they expected, record quarterly shipments, and probably the thing I really liked is unaudited cash balance increased to 87.6 million. So the cash on hand actually increased. I think that's very important. Now, there could be other reasons behind that apart from increasing production. And I'd like to see further information on their quarter. But Finesse operations will now pause with restart assessments underway. So interesting announcement from Core Lithium. But the most important thing is the chart. Doesn't matter if this was received well by the market. And we can see that it was received initially well, share price up 10%. If you look at the daily chart, awful. Absolutely awful for Core Lithium. No reason to get excited about this company. You can see in the movement in the share price, we do have rallies, short-term rallies. Let's have a look at the 1 hourly chart. So even the 1 hourly chart has been in a downtrend. In fact, if you look at the 1 hourly chart, it's been a downtrend since March. There was a period here where I think some short-term traders were getting excited about Core Lithium, but that didn't last very long. But otherwise, it's been in a 1 hourly downtrend for a long time. Since June last year, and the share price was $1.05. Now it's 9.4 cents. So even on a different time frame, 1 hourly trend or 1 hourly time frame, you can definitely see a trend. And for short-term traders, they'd probably be looking at the 1 hourly chart, maybe 15-minute, 5-minute, and they'll be waiting for a bit of a shift in trends for Core Lithium. It's not happening just yet. And even the announcement yesterday, most of the bullishness or the share price rise was in the first hour of trading, and that's it. Share price did get above 10 cents for a while, has now fallen below. So that's Core Lithium coming in number 2. Coming in number 1, could it be anyone else other than Genusplus? Now, I'm a little bit biased here because I'm a shareholder of this company, and the share price is up 8%. I cannot be disappointed with that. So Genus awarded long-term Western Power maintenance works. The whole reason I invested in this company is because we need, in this company, a complete overhaul of our energy infrastructure, power lines, that sort of thing. We need a complete overhaul, and even more than that, we need electricity or energy infrastructure overhaul. And Genus will be benefiting from that. And this is one of their announcements. They're benefiting from that. So has been awarded a major program of maintenance and upgrade works for Western Power. So what they'll be doing, they do mention it here somewhere, deliver a major program of maintenance upgrade works. Genus will provide distribution and transmission overhead maintenance services. The first year work includes pole replacements, reconductoring, cross-arm and cross-beam replacements, defect repairs, and line removal. And that's one of the reasons why I invested in this company and trading Genusplus, and the market knows it too. The share price and the chart for this company are amazing right now. So that's a 1 hourly chart. By the way, let's have a look at the 1 hourly chart. So just based off the 1 hourly chart, you could have bought back in December at $1.15. Now, the share price wasn't doing, it was sort of in an uptrend. Sort of the breakout based off the 1 hourly chart was the 26th of May last year at a share price of 95 cents. You might have got a little bit nervous back in November. Share price dipped a little bit and there was a bit of a signal. But yeah, if you just based your trading off 1 hourly chart, you could have bought in December at $1.15 and the share price has now increased to $2.09. And there's been no signal. Share price going sideways for about 3 or 4 months. That's okay. but there was no sell signal at all there. And if you look at the daily chart, it looks brilliant. A beautiful daily chart for Genusplus. And the breakout on the daily chart was a little bit of a different time in June last year at about $1.10. I was trading Genusplus at this point. I actually saw this. I traded and then I took my profits and went, no, it's probably not a long-term buy. And then I changed my mind a bit further along. So I didn't hold Genusplus for maybe 3 or 4 months. And then I bought back in about $1, forget when, it was $1.40 maybe, $1.30. So I actually bought in a higher price. Don't be afraid to do that. You can buy in a high price when you realize you made a mistake. And this chart looks absolutely brilliant for Genusplus, the company coming in at number 1 on my top stocks of the day. So I was going to go through a few charts. So I will do that. I'm going to first have a look at Titomic. Share price yesterday was 11 cents and it fell below 10 cents for a brief period today. It did fall below 10 cents for a brief period today, then has rallied, went to 9.6 cents. Let's have a look at the 1 hourly chart for Titomic. It fell briefly at about midday. So it's tested 10 cents. I should have put in a buy order at about 10 cents or just below 10 cents. I actually mentioned you should put your order at 10 cents. Some people put it at 9.9 cents. But sometimes if it does break below 10 cents, it could remain below 10 cents. But Titomic hasn't done that. It's remained above 10 cents. And it's gone now to, we're in the closing auction. And yeah, so not much at 10 cents. So a lot of times when you do see the share price rally back above 10 cents, you see a lot of bids put in at 10 cents. So we see a lot of volume at 10 cents, a lot of buys at 10 cents. And you see that a lot. All right, so that's Titomic. Just want to have a quick look to see how it traded today. Other companies I want to have a look at was Clinivel. This should show you that the importance of sentiment. So 2 days ago, share price of this company rallied 10%, 15% on a good announcement. But I was thinking, I don't think this will be a breakout just because the share price has been a downtrend. And we had confirmation of that yesterday. Share price fell 10% in 1 day. And what's happened today is, I think there would have been some traders got caught out by the trading on the Mondays or the last Friday session. And yesterday they saw the share price drop. And then on open this morning, they bailed. And I mean, they bailed. And you can see that just by the 1 hourly chart. They bailed. In the first hour, share price of this company fell 7.6%. So they all bailed on the first hour because of what happened yesterday. And the share price has sort of dwindled lower during the rest of trading today and is at an important support level. The reason I say that's an important support level, just in the short term, is that was the lows we saw back in the 12th of June. So it's really interesting. The company released a really good announcement. Initially, the market liked it, but because of negative sentiment, the share price is now significantly below where the share price was before that positive announcement. So it just shows you, just based off this 1 hour chart, how important sentiment is and how it can change really dramatically just because of day traders. And I'd say day traders were the reason the share price of this company got sold down. They got caught out. So that's Clinivel. Also wanted to have a look at Quickstep. So did Quickstep release an update? Let's have a look. No, they have not released a trading halt announcement just yet, but that's okay. And yeah, we can see why the ASX more than likely has given this company a price and volume query. Share price has gone on a pretty big run the last 2 trend days on massive volume today. So again, what's happened today, more than likely, maybe not, but more than likely what's happened today is some day traders saw the activity yesterday on some volume and went, oh, this could be a trade. And they've been buying this company today, trading this company. And there's the 1 hourly chart. So it has broken out. In fact, it broke out at midday on Monday at about 22 cents, and now it's 27.5 cents. So I'd say that just day traders got excited about this company today because of this particular chart and high volume. Now, there could be some other reasons. Maybe the company, maybe it's been loose lips. Maybe the company does have something in the pipeline. Maybe they have some really important news flow that they haven't released to the market just yet. And maybe that's the reason for the whole trading halt that they'll be going in. But that's Quickstep. Vulcan, It's had a good day today. Was it a good day or bad day? Oh, it's all over the place. So a fair bit of volatility in Vulcan. I'll move on to the next company. Electro-Optics chart looks pretty good, I have to admit. Has turned around, and yeah, Electro-Optics looks pretty good. DXN. So I should mention when I bought. So I bought somewhere in this little dip. I bought somewhere here. In fact, I've taken 2 positions in this company. So my buy-in price is a little bit higher from my first buy because I've also bought some more shares somewhere in there. Today is a good day for DXN, up 14.86%. So let's have a look at up 17.6%. And this is confirmation, I think, of a shift in sentiment and definitely a trend in the share price. I wanted to see the highs we saw back in mid-June to be beaten, to the new highs to get higher than that. And I was satisfied that that's going to happen, was going to happen eventually, because we saw the selling really dry up after this little dip. So very exciting happenings with DXN. I'm excited about this company, particularly the long-term potential and really good volume coming in as well. That's the other sign. I saw some really good volume coming in end of last week into the start. At the end of last week, it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that was enough for me to realize that I should add to my position. So there it is, DXN up 17.57% today. A nice looking chart for that company. ACW, Acton and Gen, just keeps on going on a tear. And this is fairly similar. I was talking about earlier in the video where you want to see share price get to all-time highs, and there was no negative sentiment and negative trend in the share price of this company. We had this little rally in the share price back in February, but that was just after the share price was in long-term downtrend. And I'd say a lot of the shareholders who bought into this company at higher share prices, so back in 2022, 2023, probably sold out on this rally in the share price back in February. So there was a renewed registry of shareholders on the list, on the registry, a renewed shareholder on the registry, worded that wrongly. And because we have new shareholders, the share price can now go on a run. Also, look at the volume, really good volume. So a brilliant looking chart for Actinogen. There has been a little bit of selling today. Yes, there has been selling. I just noticed that. So share price got as high as 7.8 cents. Now it's 7.4 cents. So a little bit of selling in today. And I'd probably like to see share price pull back a little bit personally for me before I think about buying some shares in that company, like a trading position. What else do we have? Liontown Resources had a good day today. And just because it had a good day today doesn't mean anything. Chart looks ugly. So that's what I'm going to talk about when it comes to Liontown. AML 3D was a bit of a pump from Next Investors. And this is what happens when you fall victim to a pump. Won't call it a pump and dump, but you could say the share price on the shares have been dumped the last 2 days and highly volatile. Share price down a further 21.6% today after falling 13.9% yesterday, even though share price got to a high yesterday of 26 cents. Let's have a look at the 1 hourly chart. You'll be able to see, yeah, look at that sudden shift in sentiment. Little bit of buying today in the last hour. So there is possibility that low has been reached today. What I mean by that, you can just see the 1 hour candlestick. There's a bit of a tail, a bit of a shadow below the main body. So we have seen a little bit of buying when the share price, oh, that's gone now. So it's still updating. And I'm just going to see what the share price is for this company, AL3. Is at 14.25. Yeah, anyway. So I wouldn't say necessarily the low is in, but the share price has fallen almost 50% from the high. That high was reached on open on Monday. So in 2 days of trading, the share price of this company has fallen 50%. This is exactly what you want to see, this sort of dip. Now, the problem is how low the share price will fall from here. If you use like Fibonacci, retracement, I hope I'm using that right. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm using that one right. Anyway, so it could fall about, yeah, it could fall a little bit further, maybe 12 cents or so, and maybe that will be the low for AML3D. I am not trading that company at all. WTM, Waratah Minerals, I was waiting for a bit of a shift in or a bit of a dip in the share price for this company, and we have seen it today. down to 29 cents. Not a big dip, but it's a dip. And when I say not a big dip, down 10.45%. And in fact, it looks like it's going to be closing at 30 cents. So share price got to a low of 28 cents today. And we have seen a little bit of buying coming in. But it remains to see if the share price falls over the next few days. If we don't see much of a decrease in share price from here, that will be fairly bullish. That means there's not many sellers in this company. And finally, WA1. I have no interest in this company. A lot of volatility in this company, WA1 Resources. Share price all over the place over the past month and a bit. Starting from the 3rd of June, the share price fell 14% and then dropped and then rally, drop, rally, and maybe the start of a new drop in the share price for this company. Okay, that's all I've got for today's video. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave them in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who's qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.